with me, your man, Louie Tee. Welcome to Louie Tee Live. Divisional breakdowns. We're going to get through each and every single one of these divisions. We've already knocked down 2 in the NFC East and the AFC East. Now we're going to jump into 2 more tonight, 2 more tomorrow, and 2 more Wednesday to wrap up all 8 divisions. The 2 divisions we'll be handling tonight are the AFC South and the NFC South. And so this is a very fascinating division here. Remember, just 2 years ago, this was one of the worst divisions in all of football. Now I think it's one of the more competitive divisions in all of football. And with Andrew Luck coming back, I think the excitement for this division is at an all-time high. I don't recall this division being this exciting with what the Jags did a season ago, with the Titans and the excitement coming out of Tennessee. All of a sudden now Deshaun Watson has infused the Texans with a bunch of hope. And that fan base thinks they've got a shot because of what Watson gave us in such a small sample size, only 7 games last year, but he was setting the league ablaze with his play before the injury. And so you look at all of those mixes of factors in together, and what we might come out with is one hell of a divisional race that will come down to the stretch of the season. And I'm here to tell you that I think every team has a legitimate shot at winning this division. Not one single team. This is one of the few divisions that you look at and you say, hey, does everybody have a shot to win this thing? And I honestly feel like every single team in this division could make a case for winning this division, and I wouldn't say you're wrong. So we're going to get to each and every single team's schedule. We're going to take a look at it. You can see my prediction up at the top. I'll tell you how I got there. You can also see the finishes from each of these teams last year. Obviously, circumstances dictated those final records. Don't allow those records to cloud your judgment on these football teams. The Colts with Andrew Luck aren't a 4-12 football team. The Houston Texans with Deshaun Watson healthy, not a 4-12 football team. So things are going to look vastly different in 2018 with these teams presumably healthy. Obviously, when we do these schedules and these predictions and projections for these teams, we're assuming health. So we're going to do that tonight. So I want to thank you guys for joining me here on this program. And if you're out there and you want to call in, we're going to open up the phone lines at some point tonight. We're also going to have the Twitter discussion open. Use the hashtag LabRoomFam if you're out there on Twitter. As you can see, the Twitter hashtag right above me along with the Twitter handle. If you want to skip the line, that is how you do so. And also, you can leave your comments here in the YouTube chat discussion. Use the hashtag Louie Tee Live. So you know the pecking order. Phone first, Twitter second, YouTube chat discussion third. So we're going to get to the proceedings this evening. And I want to start with the Jacksonville Jaguars last year going 10-6 and winning this division against all odds. I don't think many people had the Jaguars jumping up and doing what they did. First-year head coach Doug Marrone riding the ship in Jacksonville. And not like he was a first-time head coach, but it was his first year in Jacksonville. Not a lot of people thought that he was going to be able to get the results out of this team that he was able to get. But we saw a team that had all the talent. And I've been talking about this team and all the talent that they've possessed over the last few years, but not being able to have it manifest into wins on the football field. Well, Marrone came in, turned things around, came in with a hard-ass approach. And that got me to thinking about the discussion of, do you win with soft coaches in this league, or do you have to have a hard ass, a dictator, as we've seen with Bill Belichick over the years? Saw Marrone come in and turn things around in that Jags locker room, turned the music off, moved different players next to each other, got the ping pong tables and all those things out of the locker room, and said, look, we're not a winning organization until we are. These things are amenities that we're not allowed to have. Players scoffed at it, but he said, trust me, we'll get results. They got results. Now they trust Doug Marrone. So let's start with the Jacksonville Jaguars and what I think they're going to do this season. And let's take a look at their record from last year, which was 10-6. And now let's take a look at what I think they can potentially do in 2017. So let's look at the schedule, or 2018, excuse me. Let's look at the schedule. And I look at this Jag schedule, and it's an interesting mixture of games here. They play the NFC East. All right, so that in itself makes it a very interesting schedule. But then they also play the AFC East, I believe, as well. New England, yes. The AFC East as well. So by virtue of playing the AFC East, you'd like to think that they should be able to stockpile some wins here, just off the strength of knowing you're better than 3/4 of that division. You should be able to handle Miami, the Jets, and Buffalo with relative ease, okay? The team that you're going to struggle with in that division, obviously New England, a team that you had essentially for 3.5 quarters, and if Telvin Smith isn't ruled down, that's probably a different outcome, and they may be going to the Super Bowl last year, but that's nor here nor there. I look at this schedule, and I start at week 1. I think they're going to go on the road and beat the Giants. They're going to lose the next 2 games, however. The Jacksonville Jaguars, what you have to understand is they have a Tennessee Titans problem. And, you know, every team in the division, you know how there are little quirks within divisions. You know, certain teams struggle with, you know, specific teams in the division have much more success versus other teams. Well, for the Jaguars, their kryptonite is the Tennessee Titans. For some reason, they just don't know how to beat the Titans. Marcus Mariota has good success. Remember, late in the season, one of the worst ass whooping the Jacksonville Jaguars took last year was at the hands of the Tennessee Titans early in the season, at home, nonetheless. Late in the season, Tennessee had to have it. Remember, Tennessee looked like they were a foregone conclusion to make the playoffs, and then all of a sudden, they went ice cold, lost some games they had no business losing, and all of a sudden, you know, Tennessee was reeling on the ropes and needed it against Jacksonville late in the season. Mariota turned in a nice little performance, especially a nice little run late in that ball game to help them preserve the victory. They struggle with the Titans, do the Jaguars, and so I've got them being swept by Tennessee again. They were swept by the Titans last year. I got them getting swept again this year. And so I see this team starting out the season 2-2 after the first 4 weeks, okay? And then that puts you in a really tough spot on the road at Kansas City in a game that, if that were Alex Smith and the Kansas City Chiefs, probably would be a loss. But because it's a young quarterback that's probably going to make mistakes if you put pressure on him, in Patrick Mahomes, see them going to Kansas City and finding a way to win that game to get them to 3-2 in the season. At Dallas the following week, you lose that game, but then you bounce back with the win at home in the division versus Houston. And this is just a little bit of a side note. The NFL tells you what they think of your football team, or how good they perceive you to be, or if they think you're a pretender or they think you're a contender, by how many primetime games you get. And looking at the Jaguars, the NFL still doesn't respect the Jaguars. I think I know why that is. I think it's because of Blake Bortles at quarterback. They only got 2 primetime games. You want to go ahead and count the third one as the London game, knock yourself out. I'm not going to count the London game as a prime-timer. They've got 2 games on national television for a team that won the division and was one of the better teams in all of football and was essentially a half a quarter away from the Super Bowl. They've only got 2 primetime games, which shows you that the league still doesn't believe in the Jaguars, and rightfully so. With Blake Bortles at quarterback, it makes you pause. But nonetheless, I've got them going into the bye week at 4-4 after week number 8. And so you come off the bye week and you drop the first 2 games out of your bye, and it's not looking good for the Jaguars at 4-6 after dropping 2 straight after the bye week at Indy and home for Pittsburgh. And I know most Jaguars fans are saying, we destroyed the Steelers not once but twice last year, and yet you're still not giving us respect against the Steelers. New year, new team. We'll see if you can do that again. I want you to prove it to me. I'm from Missouri. You have to show me that last year wasn't a fluke. So I still got you losing to Pittsburgh on Sunday Night Football in week number 11. But after that, you bounce back in a major way, winning 5 out of your final 6 games to give you a chance to make a run at not only the divisional crown in this division, but a postseason berth. You beat Buffalo, you beat Indy, you lose to Tennessee a second time for the sweep at Tennessee on a Thursday night, and then you finish up with wins versus Washington, at Miami, at Houston to wrap up your season. And just like you struggle with Tennessee, you are dominant versus the Houston Texans. And with a quarterback like Deshaun Watson, he's not going to do well with pressure. We saw that in the preseason game versus the Rams. First play of the game, pressure on him, rolls out of the pocket, does something stupid with the football. So just know that when pressure is applied to Deshaun Watson, you can get some results favorably in your direction if you're a defense that can apply pressure to Deshaun Watson. Everybody wants to talk about Watson and what he did and the 19 touchdowns. Don't forget about the 8 INTs. Yeah, he was on pace for 40 touchdown passes last year before the injury. He also was on pace for damn near 20 interceptions too. So he'll turn it over. He'll throw it up for grabs. He'll give you an opportunity to make some plays. And this Jags defense is good enough to get to Deshaun Watson enough times to beat the Houston Texans, not once, but twice, en route to a 9-7 finish and 3-3 in the AFC South division. As we move on to the team that finished second and made the postseason last year in this division, the Tennessee Titans. New head coach in Mike Vrabel, new unis, new offensive coordinator, a lot of different things going on in Tennessee that has this fan base very optimistic. I look at what they've done. Matt LaFleur comes in and is going to be the new OC, and he's had a lot of experience with mobile quarterbacks and getting guys into situations that make them the most comfortable. And so I think the Titans fan base is really excited about this season, as they should be. But what you have to understand coming off of a postseason bid last year is that you shook things up. And when you shake things up, there's something to be said about the lack of continuity that comes with shaking things up. A lack of continuity and knowing that comes with a first-year head coach, a first-year offensive coordinator. There are a lot of things that are going to take place this year that are going to benefit the Titans in the future, but not going to benefit them in the here and now. And there are growing pains that come. Look, a lot of teams were deceived last year by the outcome of what the Rams did. All right, the Rams had a first-year head coach come in and turn around what was a dire organization and made them a winning outfit and won the division. They got a home playoff game, and they set the league ablaze in doing so. That's rare, okay? You're more likely to get what we saw out of the other first-year head coaches last year, like in Denver, like in Chicago. Or not in Chicago, excuse me. They got a new head coach this year. But like in Los Angeles with the Chargers, you're more likely to get those types of results where you miss the postseason, where you struggle a bit, than you are what you saw with the Rams last year. So even though the Titans won enough games to qualify for the postseason last year, I think you have to temper your expectations this year because it's a brand new staff and you're switching over schemes and you're doing things differently. And it's going to take a while for everything to gel and mesh together. But out of the gate, I've got them winning the first 3 games. At Miami, win. Home for Houston, win. At Jacksonville, win. And just like that, you're 3-0, and you're saying, look at the Tennessee Titans. Off to a great start with Vrabel and Matt LaFleur, and they've got things clicking right now. And then reality sets in. You lose the next 3 games. Home for Philly. At Buffalo, which that's a stinker. You don't lose to Buffalo if you're serious about making the postseason, but in the season, you've got to understand there are going to be upsets. There are going to be games where your team doesn't perform. Remember last year, Titans went late in the season to a very bad Arizona Cardinals football team, one that had nothing to play for, with Blaine Gabbert starting, and lost. Remember that? Lost to San Francisco late in the season as well with Jimmy G. The Titans had some bad losses last year. And so they happen throughout the course of a season. That Buffalo game is going to be, and it's tough to win in Buffalo. It's easy to go there, fall asleep behind the wheel, and catch an L. And that's what I think is going to happen. And then you're going to lose to Baltimore at home. Remember, Baltimore had you on the ropes last year, should have won that game, had some stupid turnovers late in that game that swung the football game in the favor of the Titans. Titans were able to win that game. Baltimore fully capable of coming in there, running the football down your throat like they did last season and coming out with a W. So that's 3 straight losses after 3 straight wins to start the season to get you back to 500. And then you've got the pivotal game right before your bye week at the Chargers, but it's in London, so it's really not a road game in the sense of you got to go to L.A. That's a winnable football game, and I got you winning that game to get you to 4-3 going into your bye week. You come off the bye, Monday Night Football on the road versus the Cowboys. Tough environment. That's a loss for me to get you back to 500 again at 4-4. Then you beat New England. One of the surprises of the season is you beating New England. And this Titans team is capable of doing it. You know, losing to Buffalo, but then beating the New England Patriots. And I got you beating the Patriots. And then the following week, off of the high of beating Tom Brady and the New England Patriots and exacting a measure of revenge versus the team that put you out of the postseason last year, you come home, you go to Indy and lay an egg versus Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts. And just so you know, the Indianapolis Colts, I talked about how the Titans own the Jaguars. Well, the Titans have the absolute worst success versus Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck is undefeated versus the Tennessee Titans. And before Andrew Luck got injured and did not play last year, I think it was some odd 16 or 17 game losing streak the Titans had to the Indianapolis Colts, dating all the way back to like 2011. So you want to talk about one team owning another? The Indianapolis Colts with Andrew Luck own the Tennessee Titans. I expect Andrew Luck to pick right back up where he left off. And so I've got the Indianapolis Colts sweeping the Tennessee Titans. And so that's the first of two losses to the Indianapolis Colts. You would have been much better off getting some early Andrew where we think he might be a little rusty. You're getting some late season Andrew. He'll be right where he needs to be to make sure he hands out a couple of L's to the Tennessee Titans. You then go on the road at Houston on a Monday night. That's another L in a hostile environment in the division. You then bounce back with a couple of 3 wins in a row, as a matter of fact. At home versus the Jets, home versus the Jaguars, and then at the Giants. But then you finish up the season with 2 losses, one versus the Redskins, and then the final home against the Indianapolis Colts to finish out the season at 8-8. So you were in a position to make the postseason with the final 2 games of the season, both at home. You're 8-6. You're in a great position to not only make it to the postseason as a wild card. Hell, you could still win this division. It's right there for the taking, and you drop 2 games at home to finish up 8-8, 3-3 in the division. So you go to the next team up, and it's the Indianapolis Colts. And let's look at their schedule. And I was talking to somebody earlier, and they were talking about the Andrew Luck effect. And they said, we're overrating the Colts because Andrew Luck isn't going to make that big of a difference. And I said, really? You don't understand what this man means to his franchise. Listen, let's just take Tom Brady, for instance. You take Tom Brady off of the New England Patriots. Is that even a 6-win team? Somebody answer me. Is that a 6-win team? Even? More like a 5 or a 4-win team without Tom Brady's services. Okay? The Indianapolis Colts proved that last year. Without Andrew Luck, that was a 4-win outfit. You put Andrew Luck back in the mix, and this is a 10-win team. All right? That's the difference that Andrew Luck makes. And that's the difference an elite quarterback in this league makes. Takes you from one of the worst in the league to a playoff team. Okay? That's the Andrew Luck effect. You may not want to hear that, but Andrew Luck doesn't have a losing season under his belt. Okay? All the man knows is winning since he's come into this league. And he's going to pick up right where he left off. This is a Colts football team that if Andrew Luck is healthy, and he hurt his foot in the 3rd preseason game, but they said had this been a regular season week, he'd have been able to play in the upcoming game. So it's not serious. And he's going to struggle early on in the season, and my breakdown of their schedule reflects that. He's going to struggle out of the gate. He's still not himself yet. Give him the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season to shake off the cobwebs. Once he does that, he's going to start assaulting teams like he's used to doing. T.Y. Hilton is going to start to turn it up. They've got a run game all of a sudden now because Andrew Luck is back, and they've got a much better offensive line. And then voila, what do you know? Here come the Indianapolis Colts back for what is rightfully theirs, in their mind, the AFC South crown. So I look at the first 3 weeks of the season, all losses. I think Cincinnati's going to be a really good team this year. We saw what they were able to do to Buffalo's offensive line. I don't know if they're going to do that to the Colts offensive line, but they're going to get pressure on Luck. They're going to disrupt the timing of their offense. Luck isn't ready to rip a team to shreds quite yet. And so Cincinnati's going to go into Indy, come out with a W. They go on the road for the next two, both in the NFC East, both losses at Washington, at Philadelphia. After that, though, Andrew Luck starts to hit his stride right around the mid-portion of that Philadelphia Eagles game. And even though it's a loss, he's going into that Houston matchup with a lot of confidence, feeling like he's ready to rock and roll. And the next about 8 weeks reflects that as the Colts then go on a streak where they win their next 7 out of 8 contests. All right? They beat Houston in week 4. They lose to New England because they can't beat the Patriots. Doesn't matter where the game is played, they can't beat the Patriots, led by Tom Brady. And so they lose to the Patriots on Thursday Night Football in Foxborough, but then they win the next 6 games at Jets, home for Buffalo, at Oakland. Isn't that a great stretch there to get healthy? 3 teams that you should be able to beat in the Jets, the Bills, and the Raiders as you go into your bye week. You come off your bye week, Jacksonville at the crib, Tennessee at the crib, Miami at the crib. So the rare 3 straight games at the crib for the Indianapolis Colts, more opportunities for them to take care of business at the crib. And what do you know? Family business while you're at it, at the crib, take care of that. So 3 straight wins there after the bye, 3 straight wins prior to the bye gets them at 7-4 on the season. Then they hit a little bit of a rough patch. They lose to Jacksonville. They lose to Houston, both on the road in the division, drops them to 7-6. They're going to need a really strong finish to make a push, and that's exactly what they get. Home for Dallas, home for Giants, at the Titans, win all 3, win the division at 10-6, 4-2 in the division. So the Colts come back at 10-6 and win the AFC South. But let's talk about the Texans, because don't rule the Houston Texans out of this division despite having the youngest quarterback in this group and in this division. They're still a dangerous football team. Let's talk about the Texans and what I see for them. I got them right out the gate, shocking the league and beating the Patriots. Remember last year, the high-octane Kansas City Chiefs started the season off red hot, and the first win of the season was on a Thursday night. Patriots got their Super Bowl ring. No one gave the Chiefs a chance. They were supposed to be sacrificial lambs. They go in there, they put 40 on the skulls of the Patriots, come out of there with a dub. I see the Texans doing the same thing. Remember, the Texans were in one of the best shootouts we saw all last season, right? 36-33, I believe that game was. And it was a doozy, but not enough bullets in the gun for Deshaun Watson. That was then. And that was without a healthy J.J. Watt. I think that was Watt's last game of the season, if I'm not mistaken, before he was put on IR. They weren't even fully healthy defensively, and they molested Brady in that game, as they always do. They're going to be fully healthy. First game of the season, Watt, Merciless, Clowney. They're all there. They're all ready. Brady's in trouble, and they're not happy with their receivers in New England, not to mention no Julian Edelman. They just got rid of Decker because he couldn't catch the football, and he was in danger of being cut, so he retired. They just cut Kenny Britt. They don't have a lot of stuff at receiver. They're going to be throwing it to the backs. Brady's going to try to get it out of his hands quickly. The Texans have a legitimate shot of going into Foxborough and winning week 1, and that's exactly what I have them doing. The following week, though, Texans lose to Tennessee. They then follow that up with a win versus the Giants. Then they lose at Indy. So a couple of tough ones early in the season to start out. Your first 3 out of 4 games on the road. So if you can find a way to navigate through that stretch at either 2-2, 3-1, you got to feel damn good. I've got them going 2-2 in that stretch. But if you don't win the New England game, you could easily come out of this stretch 1-3, and that's tough to overcome with the young quarterback. But nonetheless, you then win on Sunday Night Football versus the Cowboys. And so you follow that up with another win versus Buffalo, and all of a sudden, a team that started out the season 2-2 is now 4-2. Then you lose at Jacksonville, but then you win on Thursday Night Football at home versus Miami. So you're playing good football. You feel good about yourself. You lose the following week on the road to the Denver Broncos going into your bye week, which puts you at 5-4 going into that week 10 bye. You come off the bye. You lose at Washington to get you to 500 at 5-5. Then you get hot. You win 3 straight. Home for a Monday Night Football contest in the division, family business versus the Tennessee Titans. You take care of business there. Home for Cleveland, take care of business there. Home for Indy. So just like Indy had a 3-stretch home streak, you have the same. And just like Indy took care of business during their 3-game home stretch, you do the same, taking care of Tennessee at home on Monday night, Cleveland at home the following week, and after that, Indy coming into town, you dispose of them as well. So taking care of family business late in the season is how you make a playoff push. You're now 8-5. You control your own destiny. Playoffs right in your sight, and what do? You lose a game you have no business losing, which sends you into a tizzy. On a Saturday afternoon, primetime television, against the Jets on the road, sleepy New Jersey. Jets are out of it. They got nothing to play for. You think you can just show up and win on a Saturday, and the Jets get you. How? I don't know, but it happens. I remember the Redskins. We were trash in like 2014, one of those years, and the Eagles were a good football team, and somehow we beat the Eagles. They had Dirty Chaz at quarterback, but nonetheless, we won a game, had no business winning. We weren't a good football team, had no business winning, but we won the game. So it can happen on a Saturday night late in the season, week 15. And that sends you into a tizzy, not to mention you got tough games to finish up your season at Philadelphia and home for Jacksonville, all 3 which are losses. So at 8-5, you seem like you're in great position to make the postseason and hell, even win the division. And then much like Tennessee, who was 8-6, you choke it up down the stretch, finish up 8-8, finish 2-4 in the division. And that's the reason why you can't go to the playoffs. No team is allowed to go to the playoffs with a losing divisional record. That's the rules. I didn't make them up. That's the rules. You're 2-4 in the division. If you get one more in the division, maybe you're able to go to the show. But at 2-4, you got to stay home. And so that's my breakdown of the AFC South. Want to hear from you guys and what you think about this division. And so we're going to go ahead and open up the phone lines. And we're going to get to the comment section and talk about this division, the AFC South. And I want to hear from you guys as to what you think can go on in this division. You have what I think is going to happen. Now I want to hear from you guys. So let's go ahead and jump into the comments and see what we got. Let's check Twitter first. Don't think we have any heat, but gotta check Twitter first. That's the rules. At Eric says 2-4 in the division. He must be a Texans fan. Yeah, I got you 2-4 in the division. I got you getting I got you getting mopped by. I think I have you getting swept by the Jags. Let me check the pad. I don't want to tell no lies. I got you getting swept by the Jags, and then I got you splitting with the other 2 teams. So that'll land you 2-4, man. You can't get swept by anybody if you want to come out with at least a 500 record. So yeah, 2-4 in the division, man. That's where I got you right now as it stands. But you know how it goes. You know, you could easily beat another team in the division or sweep somebody, you know. So we'll see how it goes. But here we go with the comments. Archangel says this division should be exciting this year with Luck back, Watson back, and their defense back. Tennessee with their quarterback and new running back and unis. So this is going to be a really exciting division. I'm actually excited for the prospects of the AFC South this year. In past years, the AFC South was one of those divisions that you could pass over. You care less about what's going on in that division. This is going to be a really exciting division this year, I believe. Man, Andrew Kim says, He's got the Jags at 11-5, Texans at 10-6, Titans at 9-7, Colts at 5-11. So he's not respecting Andrew Luck coming back at all. I think that's a big mistake, but I respect the Jags at 11-5, Texans at 10-6, and the Titans at 9-7. It could definitely happen. So that wouldn't shock me in the least if that actually was the case. So you stupid Dizzy Diz. Let's see. Matthew Lynch says, no way the Colts win the division. Bet me any amount. Hey, that's what I got going on, man. I'm trying to tell y'all the Andrew Luck effect is real. You're going to find out the hard way, though. I got a call coming in, so we're going to take it. You're on live with your man, Louie Tee, live. Who am I speaking with? Who am I speaking with?
Brian.
What's going on, Brian?
Honestly, like, this division, I think, is only really a two-team race between the Jags and the Texans. The Titans, they haven't showed anything. And the Colts, they still don't really have good defense. You don't know what Luck is going to be after his injury. And their offensive line is still bad. Really bad. And they have no run game.
So you think it's going to be a two-team race?
Yeah, Texans and Jags.
Texans and Jags. Who you got winning the division?
I have no idea. Like, it's gonna be Kane who stays healthy more. I think it's gonna be the Texans that take the division by a hair over the Jags, but I can see the Jags winning. The reason I'm picking the Texans, J.J. Watt's back healthy, Deshaun Watson's back healthy, and the Texans have Tyrann Matthew.
All right.
Like,
So
that was a big step for them.
So with all these players coming back, who do you think is going to be the standout player in the division? Give me your standout player, your comeback player, if you will, in this division. With all these players coming off of injuries, who's the one guy that you think is going to stand out and put their team over the top?
I think it's going to have to be the Badger from the Texans.
Okay. All right, so you got the Jags, you got the Texans winning this division.
Yeah.
Sounds good, man.
I would not be surprised if the Jags win, but I think it's just going to be a two-team, the Jags or the Texans. Looking at talent-wise, after all the teams, the Jags have talent. We've seen what they have on defense. And the Texans have Sean Watson back. Mm-hmm. They have DeAndre Hopkins. Mm-hmm. Their defense is good. Now add Tyrann Matthew to the mix.
All right, man. Sounds good, man. Appreciate the call.
I'm still pissed that the Cardinals released Tyrann Matthew.
Hey, we gonna see what he's got left in the tank, BE, man. You take it easy, bro.
See ya.
All right, man. So the Texans do have a lot of talent. That is a fact. Now, here's the thing. With the Texans, got a young quarterback, all right, that I think is prone to turning the football over still, despite how explosive and dynamic that offense can be. Still got a guy that's prone to turning the football over. Still wants to make plays. A lot of times with these young quarterbacks that can extend plays, they don't know when the play is over. They don't know when to say when. So you're going to get some ill-advised turnovers and some mistakes. Can they stay healthy on defense? That's the huge question. We always ask with the Texans every single year. If they're healthy, they're dangerous. If they're not, they're a shell of themselves defensively. Can they stay healthy? And that's on both sides of the football, not just on defense, but on offense too. Will Fuller makes a huge difference. Can he stay healthy? All right. They need someone to help out DeAndre Hopkins. Nuke can't do it by himself. So can they stay healthy on the at the skill positions? Can they get something out of the running game, out of someone other than Lamar Miller? And so there are a lot of questions with the Texans. I think that they're a dangerous football team, but I think they still got a little ways to go and some more seasoning to go for their young quarterback. Meanwhile, you look at Jacksonville, I think the Jaguars are the same team they were last year, which it's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a gift and a curse. Good in the sense that they're still dangerous on defense. I still think they're being somewhat disrespected despite the 10-6 mark last year and being essentially a quarter away from the Super Bowl in the AFC. I still think they're being slighted. I think that they're still being disrespected because of their offense. You lose Marquise Lee for the season. That's a really disappointing outcome there with the injury to Lee after the tackle he sustained versus the Falcons. He's done for the year. So you take away one of their explosive weapons on the outside. It just makes them less efficient of an offense. I got a phone call coming in. I'm going to take it. You're on live with your man Louie Tee live. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, little man, it's Tom, man. What's going on with you?
What's going on, Tones? Make sure y'all turn y'all phone up as loud as you can get it.
Yeah. Can you hear me though?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly fine. You're good, bro.
All right, bet. What's going on, Louie?
I'm doing good, man. So what you think about this division? Give me your division winner. Give me all the records. And then give me your standout player for each team.
Okay. Well, I got the Jazz win division 10-6. I think the best complete team. I think the most complete team. Except they got one question at the quarterback. But other than that, I think they're solid everywhere else. I got the Titans finishing second at 9-7. Give me the Texans finishing third at I say 7-9, 8-8. I'll say 7-9. Give me the Colts finishing last, 5-11. Now I'm playing every single division. Colts. Give me, of course, Andrew Luck. He's the heart and soul of that team. That's completely obvious. Texans. Give me Will Fuller, yo. I like Will Fuller.
Can Will stay healthy? That's the question. We know Will is a dynamic player, man.
Yeah, man. Will got to stay healthy, though. But if Will Fuller the fourth stay healthy, man, he's a dog. He's a guy. He stretched the whole defense out. He gave so much of mismatches with his speed. Not the best route running in the world, but his speed alone is ridiculous. He creates more space for even Nuke himself, too. Like, when Nuke getting doubled, it's so easy for Will to go one-on-one with corners and light him up every day. Titans, I got nice little roster over there. I really can't pick an exact player. You know what? Give me Corey Davis. I think Corey Davis is going to stay healthy this year. I think that's going to ball out. I think he's going to be that guy that Marcus Mariota is listening to his whole entire career. And Jags, Jalen Ramsey, his best corner in football. Like, best corner in football. He's talking all this trash too. And his DQ article, I want to see what he's going to do now. Talking all this trash. Then Big Ben is decent and Eli's trash. It's not good. What about him? I want to see him back it up. So I'm extremely curious to what Jalen Ramsey is going to do.
All right. So you got the Jaguars winning the division.
Yeah.
Repeating.
I think they're going to pick up right where they left off of that AFC Championship game. I think that's big momentum. Like, they played in a conference championship game last year. I can't disrespect them and say they're not going to win the division. They just won. They just played in the conference championship the year before. So I'm going to give them a nod on that one. And I got to see Andrew Luck. I got to see Andrew Luck healthy consistently before I give the Colts any kind of chance to win the division. I love Andrew Luck, but other than T.Y. Hill, you don't got nothing around him. I'm sorry. Like,
nah, I mean, that could be factual.
Brian Grant.
I tend to disagree with that. I just think we got, like you said, it's a wait and see approach. I totally get where some of y'all are coming from. Hey, appreciate the call, Tones.
No problem, man.
Hey, no doubt, man. Always a pleasure, bro.
Go check out the blog. You get a chance, bro. I'm putting my predictions up there on my blog too.
We'll do, man. Yeah, hey, make sure you put it down in the comment section, man, so I can shout it out for you.
We'll do, bro. We'll do, man. Thank you,
all right, bro. Be easy.
All right, bro. You too, bro. Peace.
So this is the thing with Andrew Luck, and I get it. I've seen, this is the second time someone has come at me with 5-11 for the Colts. My man AK did it, and now my man Tones also got the Colts going 5-11. I understand that it's a wait and see approach. We haven't seen Andrew Luck throw a football more than 17 yards down the field in preseason. I get it. They're taking it nice and slow. Frank Wright is like, look, man, this is the guy that's going to get us to the playoffs. Without him, we have no franchise. And so because of that, I can't afford to put this man at risk. We're going to bring him along nice and slow. It's almost like teaching a guy how to throw a football all over again. So I get it. From that standpoint, I understand why some of you have apprehension and are slow to give the Colts any credit, and you're pumping the brakes. But I'm telling you, Andrew Luck's going to come back, and he's going to lift this Colts team up. And he's got that ability, and we all know he does. And when he does, I won't be surprised. I'll say that much. But Matthew Lynch already said, no way the Colts win the division. He says he'll bet me any amount of money. So that right there tells me that that man has zero confidence in the ability of the Colts to win the division. We just talked to my man Tones. Why you gotta do me like that, B3? Why you gotta do me like that, man? Don't do me like that. The realest sports fan says, oh, we got a call coming in. We'll take the call and then we'll get back to the comment section. You're on the Louie Tee live network, or you're on the Louie Tee network live with your man Louie Tee. Who am I speaking with?
It's Nick. Yo, what's good?
Nick at night. What's going on, Nick? What's good with you?
Not much, just chilling. Honestly, with you having the Colts winning division, I'm shook by that. I don't see the Colts doing much. I had them last in the division. I got the Colts winning 6 games. So.
Wow. Okay. I mean, you're not that far out of line with everybody else. Look, I'm a lone wolf on this one. I don't mind being by myself. Everybody's got the Colts finishing last in this division except me, and I'm cool with that. So let me hear what you got. So you got the Colts at 6-10. What else you got?
No, after that, I got the Titans. I got them 7-9.
Okay.
And then I got the Jags. I think the Jags are gonna go 9-7.
All right.
And then I got the Texans at 10-6.
Whew, see, this is the thing is everybody's so high on the Texans and Watson, and I get it. The defense, if they're healthy, they're dangerous. Y'all really think Watson is ready to take a team to 10 wins?
I feel like their offense is a lot more well-rounded than the Jags. The Jags' offense, like literally, all they got is Fournette. You load the box, you force them to throw the ball with Blake Bortles. He ain't gonna do ish. Who's he throwing to? They just lost, like on the depth chart. Marquise Lee was the #1 receiver, so he out for the year.
Right.
That means you still got Cole, who's pretty straight. He came on pretty solid towards the end of the season. But you're relying heavily on rookie and DJ Chark. I think he'll be solid. But
they like Dante Moncrief, who they got from the Colts.
Yeah, he's not bad, but like I feel like the Texans' offense is more well-rounded. Like I feel like Watson's about to have a crazy season, and getting J.J. Watt back healthy is huge for them too. And they got Tyron. I feel like a lot of people like I was watching. I don't remember what show it was, but I was watching ESPN. And they were talking about how he was past his prime. And dude's like 25. How the hell is he past his prime? I was like, what are you talking about?
Hey, look, man. It is amazing how people, football is a different animal, and it doesn't take long for dudes to be past their prime, especially depending on how they've been used throughout their career. Give me a breakout player for each team.
For the Jags, I'm gonna go with Cole again because I think he gotta be their #1 receiver. So I think he's gonna break out for them. For the Texans, it might not sound like a breakout player because when he was healthy, he was obviously a beast. But I'm gonna go with Watson again. Mm-hmm. For the Titans, I feel like Mariota's gonna have a bigger year, so I'm gonna go with Mariota. Mm-hmm. And for the Colts, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Andrew Luck, but I'm gonna go with Andrew Luck, but I don't think he's gonna stay healthy for the whole season again.
Oh, man. You know what that was? That was I don't know any of they damn players, so I'm gonna just pick Andrew Luck.
No, I know. They got some other players like they got T.Y. Hill. He's solid, but I feel like for them to succeed, obviously, you got to go through Andrew Luck. So I feel like you got to be the best player out of all of them.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, we all know that as Andrew Luck goes, so does the Indianapolis Colts. So that's not a secret to anybody. But, it's going to be interesting, man. I can't wait to see how this division plays out. No one giving the Colts a chance except me. I'm cool with that. Hey, Nick, man, I appreciate you chiming in, bro. Always a pleasure, man. Continue to support the channel, too, bro. I can't
always, bro.
Can't explain to you how much I appreciate your support, bro.
No problem, bro. Your videos got a lot better, too. the quality is a lot better now. Not that it wasn't good before. I'm just
no, hey, bro, that's the plan, is to continue to progress. So that's what I'm looking to do, man. Appreciate it.
Always.
Hey, man, take it easy,
bro.
All right. So, got another Colts last place finish as we continue to keep these tallies. 6-10 from my man Nick, 5-11 from my man AK, 5-11 from my man Tones. It's been rough for the Colts thus far, and not only rough for the Colts, everyone drinking the Texans juice, man. Put that Red Bull down, man. Don't drink the Red Bull, okay? Y'all drinking a lot of that Red Bull. I told y'all 2 years ago, don't drink the Jags juice, and I was right. I'm telling you now, put the Red Bull down, man. Put the can down. Y'all getting drunk. Y'all gonna find out the hard way. The realest sports fan says, everyone saying Luck doesn't have help is confusing to me, because name a year he's had help. I mean, this is his best team he's had. Go Colts. I wouldn't say this is the best team he's had, but this is definitely a roster that is improving. I don't understand that logic either. I like the running back position. I think it's gotten exponentially better than it's been in. I can't even tell you the last time they had some quality backs in the backfield. I don't know if Andrew Luck's ever had a real quality backfield since coming to Indy. He's going to have one now. You look at the receiver position. I thought that the injury to the Clemson wide receiver Deion Kane, that one stung, man. That one hurt. That one hurt a lot. We'll come back to this topic after we take this call. You're on live with your man Louie Tee live. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, you speaking to your boy Art, man. Archangel.
What's going on, Art, man?
What's good, bro?
Nothing much, man. Just gearing up for your NFC South after this one, man. But we talking AFC South right now. Talk to me about this division. What I want from you is I want your records for each team in this division, and then I want you to tell me the player that each team can't survive without in the 2018 season. But give me your records first.
I actually think I'm gonna say something different. I actually think Tennessee might be the team everybody's sleeping on, because they got a lot of talent on that team. They got Derrick Henry, they got Deion Lewis, you know what I'm saying, Mariota. I think they're gonna come out. I think a lot of people sleeping on them. I think they're gonna be much better. They do for a winning season this year. I see them getting like a 10. I see them getting like a 10-6, 11-5 record maybe.
Okay.
And I think the Colts gonna be in second, though. I don't think they're gonna be in last. I think the Colts gonna be much better.
Okay.
I think they're gonna be in second, and they might finish like what you said, either 10-6 or maybe 9-7.
Right.
And the third team I got the maybe either the that's a tough one, man. Now that I think of it, I don't know. I think it's gonna probably be the Jags in third, even though they don't have Marcus Lee. And I think they're gonna get maybe like an 8-8 record, something like that. And then the fourth spot, I guess I go with the Houston Texans. Yeah, they might get something like a 7-9, something like that.
Okay.
But it's gonna be real tight. And the people you said you want me to tell you who I think they can't last without.
Right.
The people
One
that
player
they
for
need
each
the most.
team that they can't survive without.
Okay, well Tennessee, they definitely need Mariota.
Mm-hmm.
They got to have him. And let's see. And the second team, that would be the Colts. You see how they did without Luck last year. They definitely need Luck. They definitely need Luck. And shoot, the Jags. I think they need Fournette, definitely. Mm-hmm. Fournette, if they run and gun.
Right.
And let's see, who else we got left? We got
the Houston Texans left.
Oh, the Houston Texans left. Shoot, it's either Hop or either the quarterback that they can't survive without.
You're right about that, man. Last year, it was amazing to watch that man work. There was nothing else out there, and he was still catching 2 touchdowns a game, it seemed like. So, for sure, D-Hop, I mean, Nuke is just, he's a beast. So, Hey, man, Art, always a pleasure, bro. Look forward to hearing from you a little bit later on when we get to your division. But, hey, thanks for chiming in, bro.
All right, man.
Have a good one.
All right, too.
So, he's got the Colts finishing second. He's got the Titans. The first person to say the Titans were going to win the division at 10-6 or 11-5. So that's a big upgrade for the Titans there. If they're able to take a first-year head coach in Mike Vrabel and get all the way to double digits. I just don't see them winning double-digit games this year with a new head coach. But anything can happen in this division. Is set up for someone to be able to sneak out with a division crown. And the Titans may be that team this year. We'll see. But back to our initial discussion with Luck and his supporting cast, the way I see it, the Deion Kane injury hurts a lot. I was really expecting big things from him. I did not like the drafting of Daurice Fountain. I felt like there were so many other guys out there. Marcel Aitman was a guy that I thought was better than Daurice Fountain. Obviously, I'm a Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan, but I thought that Equanimeous St. Brown was a much better prospect at the time of the selection than Daurice Fountain. And you've seen in the preseason already what Javon Wims, the 7th-round pick out of Georgia, brings to the table. I really liked him as a 5th-round type guy. He goes in the 7th round, and he's balling for the Chicago Bears. He could have been balling for the Indianapolis Colts at this very moment. And so I feel like that pick may come back to haunt them. But even with that being said, they've got stuff at receiver. I don't love all of it, and Deion Kane's injury hurts them. But I still think they got stuff at the receiver position and the tight end position. I think they're going to be just fine. They got Ebron, which is an upgrade over what they had in past years. He's a much bigger target in the passing game than Dwayne Allen ever was. And you still got Jack Doyle. So they got stuff at tight end. They got stuff at receiver. I think that the X factor could be, when this season gets underway, the North Carolina State product that they drafted at the running back position. He's a guy to look out for because I think he can be like a Darren Sproles type of guy out of the backfield, a mismatch nightmare. And if he can get going, I think they could have something in Indy at a number of positions, and it could take some of the stress off of Andrew Luck's plate. And also, don't forget they've got the running back out of UCF in Marlon Mack, who's coming off of injury, but he's a very explosive and dynamic back. And don't forget about the running back out of Ole Miss, a guy that I like a lot, in Jordan Wilkins. So they've got some stuff on offense. I agree with you that this isn't one of those teams where you look at it and say they have no help. I think he's got a little bit of help. But let's keep it moving. Let's check Twitter real quick, and then we'll come back to... Okay. Nothing on Twitter. Let's keep it moving. My man JP says, "Sup, Lou? Just tuned in. With Watt and Watson back, I think the Texans can be a playoff team. So does everyone else by the looks of it. A lot of people think the Texans are the team to beat in this division. I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's what a lot of people are saying right now. We talked to Nick already. He's got the Jags winning the division at 10-6, but he's got the Colts at 6-10. He's got the Titans at 9-7. He's got the Texans at 10-6 winning the division. And he's got the Jags at 9-7, Titans at 7-9, Colts at 6-10. Jabril Adibi says Texans 11-5, Jags 10-6, Titans 7-9, Colts 4-12. Yikes. So again, another person that thinks the Titans are going to win this division, the Texans are going to win this division, and the Colts are going to finish last. And not just any last, 4-12, 5-11 last. We're talking double-digit losses. If Andrew Luck's healthy for the entire season, and I'm assuming that a lot of people don't think he's going to be healthy because that's the only way you can reach the conclusion of 6-10, 5-11, or 4-12. I told you we're assuming health here. But, again, I can't tell you who to assume is going to be who's going to be healthy and who to assume is going to do what. A lot of people think the Colts aren't going to be a good football team this year. I'm actually surprised. I don't know why I'm surprised, but I'm surprised. Archangel says, don't sleep on the Titans. They're due for a good season. Hashtag remember the Titans. I like that hashtag. The realest sports fan says, wait, he said, who stays healthy doesn't Watt get hurt every year? When is the last time he played 16 games in a season? That's a good question. Watt's been injured probably the last 3 years. He's been banged up and hasn't completed a full NFL season. So we'll see. John Perez says the success of the Colts depends on Andrew Luck's health. If he's not healthy, the Colts can't be anything. That's a fact. That goes without saying. If Andrew Luck isn't healthy, the Colts don't stand a chance in that division. And I think everyone will attest to that. The realest sports fan says, I might be biased, but Colts going 11-5. I don't know about 11-5, but it could happen. I don't know about 11-5 though. But I got the Colts hovering around 11-5. I've got them at 10-6, so that's not too far off. FBG Tony says, I'll admit this. If Andrew is actually healthy, the Colts will at least go 500. I'm not certain about Luck's health. I hate their defense too. That's why I've got them last, except Hooker. He likes the safety Hooker out of Ohio State. And remember, he's coming off of a major knee surgery as well. Nick Riley, my man Nicky Knight says, no doubt the Jags defense, one of the best in the league, if not the best right there. But right there with us, him being a Vikings fan. But like I said, put 8 in the box, force Bortles to throw, and you're bound for at least one INT. And he's looked so bad this preseason as Blake Bortles. I thought after the contract and the vote of confidence from the organization, he would come out a much more confident and cool, calm, and collected football player. I thought we were going to see a different Blake Bortles. Same old B. Blake looked so funky, man. Every game I watched, Blake looked like he about to throw another 2 picks. FBG Tony says the Jags going to grab Dez after Lee's ACL injury. Hashtag no cap. I already said, because my girl, me and her were watching Hard Knocks. And she said, well, who's going to sign Dez? He still doesn't have a job. And I said, don't worry. Somebody will get injured. He's waiting for the right time to strike. He's not going to just take any deal. He's going to wait till the team is desperate, and that's when he'll sign that 1-year deal. And you might be right. Jags might be the team. Odell got his money today. Only fitting that now, and it's funny because now that we're on the subject matter of the Jags and their defense, Jalen Ramsey already calling out Odell Beckham Jr., ODB, talking about their Week 1 matchup, how it'll be Batman versus Joker, and how he's looking forward to shutting him down. So that's going to be a really interesting matchup, the game within the game, like it always is when you get a top-notch corner versus a top-notch wide receiver. Nick also says, hell, the Jags need to make a trade for Teddy. They won't get to the Super Bowl with Bortles. Dude is god-awful. I'd love to see Teddy in a situation like that. That is a tailor-made situation for a guy like Teddy Bridgewater. Don't have to do much on offense. Protect the football. Make throws when they appear to be available. And just manage the game. And I know we hate using that term, but when you got a defense like the Jaguars have, managing the game is a part of the job description and really doing it at a high level. And Teddy Bridgewater has shown the ability to be able to do that. And that's a perfect situation for him. Blake Bortles sometimes. Look, if we can get the Blake we saw against the Steelers and against the Patriots, that's more than enough for them to make it back to the postseason and be a dangerous team once they get there. If Blake is turning it over, and he's looked so shoddy in this preseason, if he's almost getting picked off 2 and 3 times a game, they're going to be in trouble offensively. But they can still run it, and they still got that defense, and that's going to give them a shot week in and week out. Blackbird Blitz says, DBN is looking for Sister Lou to call in and support the Falcons during the NFC South show. Make it happen, my dude. My sister is actually on a cruise right now. I was supposed to be on that cruise, believe it or not. But some circumstances have kept me here. My girlfriend is due any week now. I'm going to have a son. So we weren't able to go on the cruise. So I'm going to be out of action at some point. I can't tell you when. I obviously don't know when my guy is coming, but he's coming soon enough. So we weren't able to go on the cruise, but sister's on a cruise, mom's on a cruise, dad's on a cruise, whole family on a cruise. And so we're here, man. But Sister Lou is not available. Sorry to burst your bubble, B3. Anyway, moving right along. My man Mexican Cracker 8989 has the Jags going 12-4, the Titans going 9-7, the Colts going 8-8, the Texans going 4-12. I don't think any team in this division is going 4-12, 5-11, or 6-10, barring injury. Again, I'm assuming health. So I don't think any team is going to drop below 7-9. I think the lowest you'll find in this division will be 7-9. I think all the teams in this division are fully capable of winning double-digit games. If things go their way, they're able to create turnovers, take care of the football, score some points. Any team in this division could go 10-6. They're all that good. So this is one of the few divisions where you look at top to bottom and say every single team in this division has a legitimate shot at doing some damage. And so 4-12 is tough for me to stomach for any team in this division if healthy. And again, I said I'm assuming health. B3, hey, appreciate it, man. Art also says congrats. I appreciate that, man. Hey, likewise to you, Nick, man. It's a beautiful feeling, man. It's a beautiful feeling. So eventually I'm going to be out of commission. Hopefully the way he comes, it'll be in a position where I don't have to miss a bunch of time. But, you know, got to take care of family first. Y'all know how it goes. So in any event, man, I'm excited. Nick, I know you excited too, bro, man. It's a feeling unlike any other, man. So I can't wait. Bart Scott! Can't wait. So, going to check Twitter real quick. See if we got anything there. If not, guess we can get out of here. So, let's see what we got. Nothing on Twitter. Nothing in the chat discussion. So, with that being said, we've said everything we needed to say about the AFC South. A lot of people think the Houston Texans can bounce back from all their injuries and the injury-plagued and riddled season they had in 2017 to bounce back and win the division in 2018. They're drinking that Red Bull. I'm telling them to put it down. But everybody's drinking that Red Bull, and now they've got wings. We're going to see how it goes. I'm riding the Indianapolis Colts. I think they're going to be back, and they've got luck on their side, and they're going to be a dangerous team in 2018. Don't count out the Jags. They're sitting right there. They're 9-7. I think they're still being slept on. The fact that the league only gave them 2 primetime games after what they did last year shows me that the league still isn't sold on them. The league doesn't trust that Andrew Luck is going to be healthy either because, like I said, the league tells you who they think is going to be good by how many primetime games you get. And the Indianapolis Colts have a 1 primetime game, 1, on a Thursday night versus the New England Patriots. That is it. So that tells you, obviously, they could get flexed. Okay, weeks 5 through 17 are all flexible. But that tells you right there that they don't trust Andrew Luck's health either. They don't want any parts of a week 10 game in which Andrew Luck isn't able to take a part of, and they got Jacoby Brissett starting like they did last year with the Titans and Colts game on a Monday night. They want no parts of that. They steer clear of any Indianapolis Colts action late in the season. They put them on nice and early week 5 because they expect Luck to be available then, but they don't have another primetime game. So the league telling you what they think of the Indianapolis Colts and Andrew Luck more specifically and his health. So This is an interesting division. I can't wait to see how it unfolds. I think we've got some really talented football teams and some really intriguing storylines within the division. The Jags are always fun to watch with their defense. The Texans, they were such a fun show to watch last year because of Deshaun Watson. We're looking for an encore. Andrew Luck back in the saddle. What is he going to do? Is he going to be healthy? How are they going to try to get that new situation? And again, that's another situation with a new head coach in Frank Wright and company. How are they going to fare in Indy? I'm taking a first-year head coach, and I'm taking them into the playoffs. And I bust the Titans down because they got a first-year head coach, and they were in the playoffs last year, but they didn't have Andrew Luck. Okay, he's such a difference maker, and I think he's going to get back to being healthy, and he's going to get his team back into the postseason. So it's going to do it for your man Louie Tee here on the AFC South divisional preview and breakdown. AFC South or NFC South coming at you at 9 o'clock. I'll go ahead and start to prepare for that one since there are no more comments. Appreciate it, Mr. Lucas speaking. FBG Tony says, congrats on your son. Hope he's a future Pro Bowl wide receiver, bro. Hashtag no cap. And Blackbird Blitz also says, congratulations to Nick, man. And Nick Jr. He said, it looks like Nick Jr. and Louie Tee Louie Tee Jr. will be facing each other in the NCAA. Good shit, dude. Really appreciate it, man. And Nick, man, I'm happy for you, dude. I'm excited, man. So you guys take care. Hopefully I'll see all of you a little bit later on when we jump into the NFC South. Another division might be the best in football. We'll talk about it a little bit later on. Until then, I'm your man Louie Tee. Make sure you like this video. You subscribe to the Louie Tee Network if you haven't already done so. Share this video. And also make sure you tune in a little bit later on for the NFC South video as well. Remember, we're changing the game one live feed at a time. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.